how do you use psychology to begin budgeting? One way to do that is most people have their paychecks automatically deposited in an account. So let's say you have this account where your paycheck is deposited, and that's the account that you use to spend all your money. And when that account goes down to zero, you've spent all the money that you've earned. And you know it because there's nothing left in the account. Now, sometimes that's when we reach for the credit card and do other things. But if you make an agreement with yourself and your framework is, I'm going to start with a reasonable assumption, I'm going to spend no more than I earn, then you can do that by isolating what you earn and isolating what you spend. And all your bills flow through that account. A big advantage for you is if you begin to think about spending and your finances in increments, small pieces, because most people don't think like that. They get discouraged. The increments they set are all and now. Okay? A big challenge with spending is separating emotion from rational thinking. A lot of spending, unnecessary spending or extra spending happens, is related to an emotional event called impulsiveness. You see it and you want it. Who has mastered behavior change and an understanding of behavior in our financial world? Credit card companies. Because what do they provide you with the drug to do? You spend now and pay later, maybe, because they have payment plans. And it's a very profitable business because they're tapping into our challenge in controlling our impulsiveness. We're in a spend society. So by starting to think in small pieces and on a continuum, instead of now, never, always, never, everything, nothing, start thinking in little bits and pieces. Savings happens $1 at a time. And every dollar you put in your pocket, every increase in efficiency in your spending is $1 in your pocket. Spending is something you can control. Okay? It's under your control. One of the problems in personal finances and in life, this is Ira's kind of self-help program, is you have to figure out in terms of your finances what you can control and what you can't. If you're depending on forces outside of yourself to achieve your personal financial goals, you've ceded control. Might happen, might not. All depends on something outside your control. If you count on your spending, however, that's under your control. You can be responsible for your spending. So how do you create a budget? Be simple. Start with what I said before. Create an account or have a segregated account that takes all your income, your earned income. If you have investments and other income, set that aside. Just see if you can if you can live on your earned income. Now, there's all sorts of excuses in the Bay Area and everywhere else. We have really high housing prices. I would like to create a framework that says all expenses, or the amount of each expense, is discretionary. Generally, you have to pay for a place to live, but the amount you pay for where you live is up to you. If San Francisco is too expensive, or you can't afford it based on the framework I just created, what can you do? You're going to move. You can move to a cheaper neighborhood or a cheaper town in the San Francisco Bay Area. If that doesn't work, you can move somewhere else where you can't afford it. Okay? So it is discretionary. It's important to take responsibility for that. That might not be your priority. Your priority might be, we talked about prioritization. Your priority might be living in the Bay Area because that's where your friends and family are. That's where your work is now. But everything in personal finances and in life is trade-offs. So you got to figure out, you got to prioritize what's important to you. Here's another example of psychology and money. And this is one of the most successful programs in America. When you are offered a job and you sign up, you do your human resource sign up, let's say 10 years ago, there would be a form that said, do you want to participate in the 401k? Check this box. Okay? Turned out, not many people check that box. Okay? So a guy named Richard Thaler at the University of Chicago, a behavioral finance expert, had a great idea. He said, instead of checking the box to participate, we're going to have you check the box to not participate. Participation rates went from 15% to 85%. And what was it about? Checking a box. That's how our mind works. So a simple tool like that enabled many more people to participate in retirement programs. They did find that whatever rate was initially set at contributions, people who participated in the Save More Tomorrow accounts never increased that rate. So they changed the program now so that you have to check a box if you don't want to have a certain percentage of any of your raise go to increase your contribution to your 401k account. And that's working pretty well. Do you believe that? It's all a matter of checking boxes. So the idea is in your own life to figure out how to make it an opt-out program from an opt-in program. Okay?